Hey, what's up? It's Frankie here. Gonna be talking about outsourcing like a boss, meaning that you give projects to people, they do a wonderful job, they make you look good, and it doesn't even have to cost you a lot. In fact, I've actually used over 1,000 different people just from Fiverr over the years to get so many of these things done. And when you do this, you'll be completely, regularly satisfied with the results and people will actually deliver. So let's get into it. All right, so if you're new to outsourcing or you've been doing it a little while, it probably has not been your experience that you turn over work to people and the results come back wonderful and meaningful and perfect the first time through. In fact, I'm willing to bet that just the opposite happens. So I'll tell you the biggest reason why this happens, by the way, and we don't always... I used to think it was because all the people I hired were just, they didn't care and they weren't good people, and more people just didn't have that kind of same quality and standard that I did. Took me a long time to actually really look in the mirror and realize it was my instructions. And a really awesome example of this, I was at a little internet boot camp for lawyers, and I was showing them how to get things done on Fiverr because somebody had asked me how to do it. And they said, well, I'm really interested in getting a logo done. And I said, the number one factor in being happy with your logo is if you can show that designer, here are 2 or 3 logos that I already like, and here is a clear picture of what I want. So 2 of the lawyers ended up going home and trying the whole Fiverr thing right after. And one of them emailed me and said, I got a logo back and it's shit. I don't like it. These Fiverr people don't know what they're doing. And the second person said, wow, I can't believe that for $5 I got something this awesome. I would have spent $1,200 hiring a designer and waited 6 months. This is exactly what I wanted. And I went a little deeper and asked the both of them, what did you do? And the first guy said, well, I just said, make me a nice logo. And the second guy said, well, I sent him 2 to 3 examples. I gave him a clear picture of what I wanted. So the biggest reason most people are unsatisfied with outsourcing is usually because you give vague, wordy, written instructions, but they can't see a clear picture of what they're actually supposed to make, and therefore can never really be satisfied. And those of you guys who do web design for other people know exactly what I'm talking about, because when somebody knows what they want in a website, it's very easy to make them happy, but when somebody has just make me something nice, it's never as nice as they want it. Tell you 2 more things that'll make your outsourcing life so much easier is one thing I learned called the trial assignment, which is kind of like a first date. And in the beginning, I used to just interview a bunch of people, and I'd say, hey, whoever kind of felt good to me, I'd say, okay, I'm going to hire you, and we'll do it for a while, and hopefully it works out. And more often than not, it didn't work out. Most of my VAs sucked. And what I ended up finding was that certain people interview well, but actually do shitty work, and certain people interview poorly and can do good work, and some people do both well, and some people do both poorly. But it's hard to tell. And Perry Marshall has a concept he calls the audition, and he says it really simply that if you are in a band, by the way, this is to me, kind of epic. If you're in a band, they don't say, let me see your resume, tell me your skill set. They just say, let's get out our instruments and we'll make some music and see how it goes. So what you want to think about doing is when you're bringing on people to outsource is, how can we have a little audition together? And you'll learn far more from 1 or 2 little tiny auditions before giving them the reins. Because I'll tell you, it's harder to fire people once you've given them full-time work. It's a lot easier just to be unsatisfied with a trial assignment and not continue. So yeah, and then I'll tell you the third thing that will make you become an outsourcing Jedi boss master, and that is to document your processes. Probably a little boring, but it is a necessary step. And my favorite way of doing it is in our agency. I just fire up Loom and I describe, here's what I'm doing, here's why I'm doing it. I slow it a little bit down so somebody can watch the video and execute those steps. And what ends up happening is, more often than not, I can just send somebody right to the video and then they can do it for me. And so in the beginning, what ended up happening when I was trying to bring on outsourcing, I remember I would give somebody like work to do, and I would have to quality control, and I would have to check them, and the people who were supposed to make my life easier actually ended up making my life harder, and I was paying them to make my life harder. But it's kind of amazing when you do it and you start to become really good at these three things that I've mentioned. Is what you'll have is the experience is that you'll give somebody work and it'll come back perfect the first time, and you can like actually walk away from your agency knowing that things are being well taken care of and well orchestrated. So if you want to have that experience, give them a clear picture, trial assignments before you jump right into it, and clear process. And what you'll find is, believe it or not, most VAs are better than I originally thought they were, and probably better than you think they were if you're having an experience where they're not showing up awesome for you. So I hope that's super helpful, you guys. And that's hello from the German forest. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe, and may the force be with you.